I'm starting to understand, it's funny to say this, the power of self-love and why it's important. One of the reasons why I feel self-love is important is because when you put value on yourself, when you see yourself as valuable, it's like everyone outside of you becomes that same value. When you love yourself, there's this feeling of love inside, so there's no need to want to harm another. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't be protective over yourself and not allow dishonoring of any kind. There was something in my throat when I said that, so let's say it again. Will not allow dishonoring. It's a big one for me. I'll make more excuses for someone's behavior than they even make for themselves. And I guess that's because I know I'm not perfect. But when we're in pain, we see others as creating pain to us. And so the power of love is huge. Actually, I think the power of love that begins with, well, everything begins with the Divine Mother and Father, knowing that you're worthy of feeling love. That's the starting point. If you are not at that starting point, you should just click off here, because the rest of this is going to sound hokey. Starting point is that you come to the realization that the Divine Mother and Father, who have created everything. Starting again, I got a phone call interruption and it just shut the camera completely off. And I thought, I wonder who's on the other line. It was a survey. So that tells me I'm on track right now with this video. I hope you didn't click off, even if you haven't figured out that the connection between knowing that you're loved is part of the equation of loving self. And we're in a reality system that's all about the love outside of self. I don't even know, even to this day, if I can identify the word love in its totality. So I'm using the word love very loosely to describe getting to know myself and getting to appreciate the parts in me, to be able to see in others similar value. So interesting too to me. I know I use that word a lot. Everything's interesting. I will tell you, a lot of stuff is interesting. It's like sometimes I'm re-looking at something for a second time and it feels like the first time, because the layers to it are like new. So like it's apple, but then maybe you're on a fast and then you eat that apple and you're like, I never knew that apple tasted so good. And then there's a new memory, there's a new encoding in that. So layers, right? The layers of love. What are those layers? How do we get more to those layers? And we're coming up on Valentine's Day, so there's a lot of love being used. We use love a lot in relationship to people. And then some people are afraid to use that word because they don't know what that word means. So there's a lot of variations you see already in the category of the word love. Layers, my friend, layers. You don't have to, you can, it's okay to say, I love that person, and then find out that you didn't know the meaning of it, or maybe there was categories you loved about that person, and now you're learning about other categories, and you're like, I don't love that. That's another layering system of love, right? Why am I speaking on this? Because it's up right now. So when something shows up in my reality system, this is starting the video for the second time. I'll combine them all together. The video this time just shut off. Oh, something does not want me to be talking about this topic. So we're going even deeper. So when something shows up my reality, love, 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 I just keep hearing the word love, and I'm watching what my brain does with it, right? So my latest thing right now is these meditations I've been doing, where you line yourself up with that divine love, where you're aware that there are parts, particles, and pieces of you that are not lined up in your cell system, in your brain system, in your bone system, in your blood system, based on family history, lineage, right? The reality system in which you live in, the storylines that we've all experienced. I mean, the people we thought we loved, and then we didn't. But really, we do love them. We just didn't love all the aspects of what they are. And how do we love ourselves? And there's a myriad of, I have an itch, and there's a myriad of information around that. So this meditation I'm doing, I'll link it below, is me letting myself know, every part of myself, the cells, the muscles, inside the physicality of me, that we're all moving towards this sovereign freedom of divine love, which is why I go back to, you will be remiss to yourself if you do not connect to what has created all living life in the universe. You can call it any name that you want to, but if you don't connect to that which created you on a infinite level, and know that you were created from pure love, then all of these ideas don't have a place to begin from, right? So we're talking about an origination of a blueprint, which is the creation of you on a very expanded awareness, which, by the way, I do not have. I just can see the field and see how expanded out it is, and I in no way will claim to ever be an expert on anything. In fact, I find it very interesting when people do, how they claim that, you know. And then I want to put one more thing in here for the love factor. Let's talk about ego. The ego is part of the human. So to not love something would be to separate out from self, to say something is not worthy of love when it belongs to you. Now, you cannot love somebody outside of yourself for various reasons, but to not love all parts of self, and trust that when that quote-unquote ego experiences love, unconditional love, right, which is the journey of, can we love ourselves unconditionally? Started this conversation, right? Every part has a nature, and every part of us has, and it's been the human nature, and the human nature has forgotten, I believe, in various references, and that's why we're talking, right, what to love, that there is nobility in us, and that nobility is part of that love factor. So I believe there's nobility in the ego. It's about assisting a part of yourself that does not know itself yet as love. And I would say the ego is part of the collective consciousness that resides in each one of us. And we're all taking a part in self-love, right? We're all taking a part in the self-love journey as our contribution to the collective love. So you've heard me many times say that, Susan, and I'm responsible for Susan. I am responsible for Susan. You're responsible for your avatar, right? Your human avatar. And we can't separate out the ego. We can see the functionality of the ego and its nature based on everything it's experienced in the collective consciousness. And befriend it. It's the only control you have is how you treat yourself. It's the only part of it. And what we're learning, that the ego is learning, that parts of the body are learning, like the cells and the bones and things like that came in under a DNA structure, are learning, is about that infinite love, that far out place. It's so far removed, right, from the original thought of how it was created, that it's making, you like that? It's making its way back. It's making its way back to the heart, to love. Anyways, that's it. Peace. Okay, one last thing. I'm all peace, and then I'm like, wait. Wait, Susan! I want to say one last thing. I want to just wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day that's coming up. This video is dedicated to Valentine's Day, a place where we get to express love. But this Valentine's Day, there's a great song by Whitney Houston. I'm going to put it down below. The greatest love of all is inside of me, right? And I love to sing songs because it gives you so much freedom to express like these like emotions that, where can you express them unless you had either an experience to express them in, right, or a song. That's why I love songs. So you're like, let me express everything I'm feeling in a song. Now I'm done. But I send my reflections a big giant happy Valentine's Day. Now we'll say it again. Peace.